Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. I'm trying to tell the control room I can't hear anything out here. Guys, today it's July 20th, 2015. This is show number 103, and the name of the show is Tea-Tards. Guys, I didn't make that up. I got that off of Facebook, and I want to say hi to all my friends on Facebook, because I tell you, a lot of the things that you're going to see on tonight's show you're going to see a lot of the stills, and I'm sorry I didn't get a lot of the guys' names that put them up there, but you'll know if you posted them on Facebook. And let's keep the ball rolling, because I tell you, what's been going on, it's really, I can really feel the momentum and what's been going on. And, when I wanted to name the show Tea-Tards, I didn't want to insinuate that the people in the Tea Party are mentally challenged, Now, I think what's happened is the people in the Tea Party have been tricked. I mean, they've been duped. They've been hornswoggled. They've been bamboozled. Hey, when somebody votes against their own interest, something ain't right. And like Uncle Joey, and I want to thank Uncle Joey for all his input on Facebook. And Uncle Joey's one of the Tea Party jihadists up in, and he's on Facebook. You can go to Things to Ponder. That's one of his sites. But a lot of times I'll talk to Uncle Joey, and he's against, overtime pay, and he's against weekend premium, and he's against vacation pay, and he's against overtime and weekend premium. And, he doesn't, sometimes he's against a minimum wage. And sometimes when I listen to the conservatives speak, I say, when everybody wants to deny their fellow human beings all these different rights, it's almost like they're on drugs, and sometimes, I don't know what kind of drugs they're taking, but there we go. Guys, I think that's the answer. What happens is they listen to Fox News, and Judy, you can come back to, there you go. And guys, I think this is how the brainwashing takes effect. I mean, Fox News is like a drug. And Judy, can we go to still number 2 now? And really, I mean, this is like in drug form. Still number 2, there we go. And what's the one drug that Fox News wants to instill in everybody? They want to give everybody the confirmation bias. Judy, can you go slide back out a little bit? There we go. Now look at the label on that, guys. Confirmation bias. Could be hazardous, may cause paranoia, delusions, hysteria, and there could be danger of death. And Judy, come back to me. When they say danger of death, obviously it's not going to kill you, but what's happening is we're killing the middle class. And even the people like Uncle Joey who watch Fox religiously, they're going to start to say, hey, wait a minute. Half these things you want, the Republican Party wants me to be against, I'm for. So what am I, getting crazy? But Judy, let's go to still number 3. And guys, a lot of times watching Fox News, Fox News is to journalism what pro wrestling is to sports. And Judy, can you come back to me? And really, Fox News is not news. Fox News is opinion. To be more specific, Fox News is the opinion of the conservative Republican Party. It's that simple. So let's get this through our heads, that Fox News is not the news. And Judy, let's have clip number 4. Hit it.
reporter. I talk to real news only. Fox News is not real news.
We want to know if you show remorse. Are you?
On, guys, I got no volume out here. Can you guys hear me? What's going on? Is Dave out there? Why does this happen all the time? Can we try that clip again and can we get some volume?
Be great.
There we go.
Not real news, and you're not a reporter. I talk to real news only. Fox News is not real news.
We want to know if you show remorse. Are you upset that the president didn't reach out to the families?
Fox News is not real news.
Guys, you couldn't have put it any better. Fox News is not news. It's opinion. And Judy, we're going to go back to the stills now. So we're going to show still number, we want to bring up still number 5. Okay. And guys, you know, when we say Fox News is not real news, the reason why I'm bringing this up is Dinesh D'Souza, who's featured on Fox News all the time. He's, he was in jail, house arrest. Jody, you can come back to me. He was in house arrest. He made the movie America, which was about Obama. But guys, he was the creator of the movie America, which was the second largest grossing political documentary. And Dinesh D'Souza is affiliated with American Enterprise Institute and the Heritage Foundation. Where are those think tanks from? You got it, the Koch brothers. So Judy, let's have still number 6 now, because I want to be able to read this. And this is the copy from the article. A Manhattan judge ordered Dinesh D'Souza, best known for documentaries critical of President Obama, to continue 4 more years of community service as well as psychological counseling on Monday. D'Souza was sentenced in September to 8 months in a work release center, 5 years of probation, a $30,000 fine, and community service after pleading guilty to campaign finance violations in May 2014. He had arranged straw donors to contribute $10,000 to the failed 2012 U.S. Senate campaign of his college friend Wendy Long. The psychiatrist D'Souza was first ordered to see found no signs of depression, but U.S. District Judge Richard M. Berman overruled their findings and ordered D'Souza see a new psychological counselor weekly. I'm not singling out Mr. D'Souza to pick on him, Judge Berman said. A requirement for psychological counseling often comes up in my hearings in cases where I find it hard to understand why someone did what they did. He continued that Mr. D'Souza committed this crime involves a colossal failure of insight and introspection. The case notes also say Mr. D'Souza has weaknesses in controlling his own impulses and that he is prone to anger in reaction to criticism. Guys, and these are the people where Fox News is getting their information from. These delusional people. And you wonder why we do a show called Tea-Tards? This is how they become Tea-Tards, because they go and they watch a movie like America that was just meant to bash Obama. Why? Because that's what they do. Doesn't matter what Obama does. Whatever he does is wrong. If he did it, he didn't do it fast enough. If he did it fast enough, he didn't do it as many times as he should. It doesn't matter. Everything that Obama does is wrong. And Judy, I think we still have one more still, don't we? Still number 7? And guys, you know, the scientific method, you know, here are the facts. What conclusions can we draw from the facts? And the political method, the Fox News method, here's the conclusion. What facts can we find to support it? And Judy, come back to me. And guys, that's the way they do it. It's almost like with the Bible, the same thing. You know, we're going to find stuff to fit the stuff that's in the Bible. And it's time to stop. And the next clip we're going to do is with Bill O'Reilly. And this is the full clip where Fox News is not the real news. And of course, Bill O'Reilly's going to say, well, they're coming here to shoot the messenger. Let me tell you something. You're not the messenger. You're the agitator. You guys go out of your way to piss people off. That's what you want to do. You just want to be insightful. You don't want to inform people. You want to inflame them. And here's how Bill O'Reilly does it. So Judy, number 8.
Good example of that, the San Francisco city supervisors. They are unrepentant over the death of Kate Steinle. The Factor contacted all of them, asking politely for an interview. They all declined. So we went to them.
Do you feel like the national media has come down a little too hard on sanctuary cities and what the main intention is?
I think the issue here is gun control. No individual with that type of record should be able to access or be able to have possession of a gun.
A few words as representative of the city. That's all. That's all I'm
Fox
asking
News
for.
would be this rude. Yeah.
We tried this for your office. We got no response. When we were in your office,
So you can see those women will not take responsibility for the danger they allow. And it gets worse. Supervisor named Scott Wiener attacks the messenger.
Supervisor, we don't want to be a pest. Just literally a minute would be great.
Fox News is not real news, and you're not a reporter. I talk to real news only. Fox News is not real news.
We want to know if you show remorse. Are you upset that the president didn't reach out to the families?
Fox News is not real news.
What a pinhead. Now, there comes a point where people get the government they deserve. That has surely happened in San Francisco. The ultra-left controls the city, and an innocent woman, Kate Steinle, is dead because of policies that endanger the public.
So guys, Fox News gets off on bashing the immigrants and drumming up the hate just to get the simple folk going, you know, so that there's fighting, you know, and like we showed on the last show, Fox News, rich people paying rich people to convince the middle class to blame everything on the poor people and the immigrants. That's what they want to do. And you know, tonight we're going to show you some clips with George Carlin. Guys, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We really are. But the next clip is I want you to watch how the Foxstitutes on the 5 implode over immigration. And Geraldo Rivera says to Eric Bolling, I'm gonna knock you out on Fox TV. Guys, I'm telling you, one of these days, something is gonna happen because somebody's gonna flip out like Geraldo almost did. So Judy, let's have some fun.
go with Trump either, because he'll just drop a nuke on you and you look like an idiot. He'll go after your looks, he'll go after anything, and then you're left sitting there stuttering and it doesn't look good. I think what you'd have to do is say, you know what, kind of laugh it off, make fun of his hair maybe, because you know eventually you want to still play golf at his course, right? But Trump is not, he's not going to win the nomination, but is tapped into the red-blooded American bloodstream right now. The people that are sick of watching a skinny community organizer go out there and run this country into the ground, and they want to see a more muscular
That's
approach.
That's why you refer to your president, a skinny community organizer?
I do.
So disrespectful.
I don't think so. I think you've said a lot worse about Republicans.
Trump, who is
Geraldo.
my friend, is going to learn that immigration is like a cheap drug. You get a big bang, a real quick high, and a very long hang.
Well, it's not a quick high when people are being murdered in San Francisco,
Well,
and it's not a quick high when people are escaping prisons in Mexico and selling heroin and cocaine to our children.
Of that family.
It's not exploiting it.
It is exactly.
You're exploiting it by downplaying
nothing to do with immigration.
How does it not? It's a sanctuary policy.
You've been doing this on the air. You're equating Trump's comments with all immigrants. What he had said was, and we've talked about this quite a bit, is Trump's comments specifically pointed at illegals.
I'm talking about the reaction to Trump. And you tell me that it's not an immigration response.
I think Jesse's right. I think that it is tapping into the
it is
exploiting.
It is exploiting and sensationalizing.
From a guy who exploits and sensationalizes everything.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
You're lucky that you're my friend. I'd knock you out right now.
Well,
that's absolute BS.
We can take this up later.
That is absolute bogus.
How are you saying that Trump is exploiting?
I exploit and sensationalize. What do you do? Where do you get your stuff from?
Right-wing
you're
saying that
Donald Trump is
exploiting a woman's death.
Get out.
It's her death.
All right.
You're downplaying it.
We're going to have a commercial coming up. It's probably...
Bada bing! Guys, now that's good quality family entertainment for you. Watching Fox News implode. Hey guys, I tell you, I look forward to the hate every day on Fox. I really do. I can't wait to see what they're going to come up with next. But this whole thing with Trump, I mean, this is a menagerie of buffoonery. Thanks to my buddy Jake Riley. A menagerie of buffoonery, and Trump is one of the Foxtitudes call him douchebaggery. Now, guys, I didn't make it up. They did. They used the term douchebaggery. So let's see how it was used, and let's have some more fun with the next clip. Judy?
Comments from Trump had some teeth, but the biting comments coming back from other GOP contenders, what does this mean for Democrats? Are they just relishing in all of this?
Well, I don't think for Democrats or anyone who is an American, you could relish in the laughing stock that Donald Trump is making of our political system. And I hope that it was the beginning of the end when he first dipped his toe into the waters, because this is just continuation of his douchebaggery.
Wow.
And has been accepted for so long by Republicans that finally they've come to their senses, because I guess he has now finally crossed the line, but he crossed many lines quite some time ago. Let's end this.
Wow, that's some serious name calling too. And how do you respond, Daniel?
Look, the real drama yesterday was actually not there. Donald Trump, as I said, roundly condemned. The real drama was in the Democratic Party. In the segment we saw earlier, Martin O'Malley had apologized for saying all lives matter. Bernie Sanders, the most liberal person in the Democratic field, was booed down at the Netroots Nation, at the most liberal conference, for not being liberal enough. That's where the real crisis is in the Democratic Party. They're not able to get along. I'd be curious whether my fellow guest believes that Martin O'Malley was more offensive yesterday by saying all lives matter, or Donald Trump was being more offensive by questioning the war hero-ness of John McCain.
Jamil, yesterday we reported that the Huffington Post said they would only cover the Trump campaign in the entertainment section. No longer would it be politics, would it be front page headlines. What do you make of this?
Bravo. I think that was the perfect call, and hopefully people in the media will follow. I will have to say that Daniel's last comment was a perfect line of distraction and deflection, trying to remove the conversation or put it onto the Democratic Party when you have the person who is leading in Republican polls saying things about our military men and women that is so offensive, and still not wanting to own up to the fact that in a Fox News poll, he was at the top just last week. What is going on in the Republican Party? What does it take for y'all to take your party back from the crazies that have had control of it for about 7 years now?
Finally, Daniel, we're up against a hard break, but Jammu mentioned the polls. Do you think we're...
Guys, what are they gonna do to take their party back from the crazies? I mean, and then did you hear the guy that was on there, the kid? That's what I'm gonna have to call him, a kid. Rather than talk about Trump, what does he do? He starts talking about the Democratic Party. Hey, we don't want to talk about the Looney Tune in our party. We want to deflect to the other party. Guys, it ain't working anymore. They can't get away with it anymore. I mean, when a guy like me is able to pick up on all this, I know that everybody else that watches the show is able to pick up the same thing. And we're not buying it anymore. We've got them. We got them dead to rights. And the next clip is going to be Bernie in Phoenix. And guys, this is going to be so weird, because some of the stuff that Bernie mentions in Phoenix is some stuff that we've heard George Carlin talk about 20 years before. But George Carlin said it in a humorous way. Bernie ain't being funny. Bernie's being serious. So Judy, let's have clip number 11.
Now, I want to talk very briefly about an issue which in many ways may be more important than any other. And that is that as a result of the disastrous Supreme Court decision in the Citizens United case, the American political system has been totally corrupted, and the foundations of American democracy are being undermined. What the Supreme Court said to the wealthiest people in our country, they said, okay, guys, you already own much of the economy. We're now going to give you the opportunity to own the United States government, and that is what they are trying to do. In this campaign, the Koch brothers alone, the second wealthiest family in America, will be spending almost $1 billion in this campaign cycle. That is more money than either the Democratic or Republican parties are spending. When one family spends more money than either of the two major political parties, that is not democracy, that is oligarchy. And that is why we have got to overturn Citizens United. And why we need public funding of elections. I see a lot of young people here today. And I want our young people to be able to run for office if they want to, and not have to beg money from the rich and the powerful to do that. And now that we have a lot of young people here, let me mention another issue of importance to our youth. Right now, all of you know that we live as a nation in a highly competitive global economy. And if we are going to succeed into the future, we need the best educated workforce in the world. At this moment, if you can believe it, this is how crazy it is. There are hundreds of thousands of bright, hardworking, qualified young people who are unable to get a college education, not because they don't have the ability, but because their family doesn't have the money. So think for a moment what it means to some kid, some low-income kid, some working-class kid who wants to make it into the middle class but can't go to college because his family lacks the funds. That's wrong. And that is why I have introduced legislation and will fight for as president to make every public college and university in America tuition free.
So guys, Bernie believes in education, and he even stated how we can fund it. You know, we can do it through stock trades. If there was just a little bit of a vig on each stock trade, the millions of dollars that's spent on Wall Street, these guys wouldn't miss it at all. I mean, and they'd be doing the country a service, but you know what? The billionaires and the millionaires, they want it all. And guys, the next clip we're going to show you is from George Carlin. And even though George Carlin was trying to be funny, you have to admit, he really seems like a psychic, because I tell you, he hit everything right on the head. Judy?
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they get by a system that threw them overboard 30 years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want retirement money. They want it back, so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own the place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long, when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich suckers who don't give about them. They don't give about you. They don't give about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice, nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain woefully ignorant of the big red, white, and being jammed up every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Guys, is he psychic? It was unbelievable. And wait, we're not going to stop, because we're going to show you another clip from Bernie of where virtually the same thing has happened. So Judy, let's have clip number 13 where Bernie talks about being divided. Hit it.
In my view, when we reach out, and what this campaign is about, is to reach out to working families all over this country, including Republicans. Because I believe that the Koch brothers and the Republican leadership in Washington has gotten away with murder for too many years. What they have done is try to divide our country up. Black versus white, native-born versus immigrant, gay versus straight. And what they have done is try to divide us. Our job is to bring people together around a progressive agenda that works for all of us.
Guys, they want to divide and conquer. That's what the Republican Party wants to do. They want to divide and conquer. And I tell you, this next clip is with Governor Walker, and it's another one with George Carlin. And if George Carlin wasn't psychic, you're going to believe it now. So, Judy, hit it.
You see, despite a lot of the rhetoric we've heard over the past 11 days, the bill I put forward isn't aimed at state workers, and it certainly isn't a battle with unions. If it was, we would have eliminated collective bargaining entirely, or we would have gone after the private sector unions, but we did not.
Pro-business and giving better incentives, of course, but you know what? Hey, Governor Walker.
How are you? Good to see you.
Oh,
Thanks for having us.
thank you for being
Hi,
here.
Mary Wilmer. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, yeah. Any chance we'll ever get to be a completely red state and work on these unions?
Oh, yeah.
And become a right to work?
Well, in fact, the
What
big thing
can we do to help you?
Well, we're going to start in a couple of weeks with our budget adjustment bill. The first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions.
Right.
Because you divide and conquer.
That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off fucking money. Fairly simple thing. Fairly simple thing. Happens to work. Anything that's different about us, you know that's what they're pushing at you. Racial differences, religious, ethnic, national backgrounds, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do to keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class.
Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. Can you believe this? These are your fellow Americans that you want to conquer. Why? The answer's simple. They want the money to keep going to the top. Now, the next still we're going to show you, and Judy, this is still number 15. So let's slide that one up there, and this is a still. Guy, look at what's been going on with the wealth disparagement. Judy, are you with us? Well, okay, that's number 16. But you could see how the productivity has gone up so high, and the hourly work compensation hasn't. But Judy, if you go back to number 15 now, we want to show you a different. There is no 15. There is no 15. Okay. Well, all right. Well, guys, believe it or not, the wealth disparagement that I wanted to talk to, I mean, you could see the productivity there. I mean, and believe me, most of the money is going to the 1%. And how are they doing it? They're doing it through a system called ALEC. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with ALEC, but we're going to learn about it now, and it's the American Legislative Executive Council. It's a it's a Koch brothers think tank, guys, and I tell you, when you see this, it's, you know, it's gonna get to you. So, Judy, let's have number 7. Okay, well, I thought 7. Okay. Judy, we're really having a tough time here, guys. 17 is a video, Judy. Judy? No, you keep doing it still. We're looking for a video.
A coastal resort protected.
Okay, well, we want to go to the one before this.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey.
Tough break, Billy Boy, but there's a new way to make laws these days. Alex the name, and you better not have scratched the limo, pal. See, it works like this nowadays. Bunch of corporations get together and get tax write-offs for bankrolling a charity called the American Legislative Exchange Council. Sounds pretty official, huh? Then they schmooze and booze a whole lot of politicians from states all over the country at posh hotels. Corporate bucks also buy scholarships for politicians, if you're a scholar of drinking scotch, smoking cigars, and playing golf at a resort. So now there's suddenly one big happy family, the corporations, the lobbyists, the politicians. They all get together far away from your citizens and voters, and the unelected lobbyists secretly vote with the politicians, as equals, of course, on the things the corporations want to do. Like, get clean air and water rules, raise your credit card rates as high as they want, crush them Democratic unions, make it easier to get away with shooting people, and privatize schools, prisons, bail, immigration, and what have you. Hell, they privatize their own mothers. So once the politicians have been wined and dined, a little campaign contribution here, a good time there.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but all right. The next clip we're going to do is number 18. All right, so all right, let's try this and let's hope everything works okay.
A coastal resort protected by armed guards. That was the private meeting place for Georgia legislators and corporate lobbyists.
Now, who paid for it all? That's the big question. Chief Investigator Brendan Keith holds the powerful accountable tonight. Brendan?
The 11 Alive investigators discovered an organization that gets money from lobbyists, gives it to legislators, and it's all considered charity. We found the fabled back rooms where laws are really made. We can't show you what's behind this closed door. A place where legislators and corporate lobbyists have an equal vote. A place they don't want you to see.
You need to be credentialed at registration.
We are credentialed. We're Georgia Media. Are there legislators in there? Are there legislators in there? We are Georgia credentialed media.
Over here? Please step over here.
What? There's Georgia legislators here. Are laws being made in there? This isn't the state capitol. It's a resort hotel in Savannah where lawmakers are wined and dined as members of the American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC. What is ALEC?
It's really a corporate bill mill. I mean, they're cranking out legislation
put it into the hands of legislators who go back and file it.
Georgia Senator Nan Orrick would know. She was once an ALEC member. What happens in these back rooms?
There are votes taken that have the corporate folks at the same table voting with the legislators on what bills to pick. And that at its core just screams out inappropriate.
You're telling me that in these rooms, a corporation has an equal vote with a legislator on a piece of legislation?
They absolutely vote, and the truth be told, they write the bills.
ALEC bills come complete with blanks where legislators need only fill in their state name, like the Asbestos Claims Priorities Act. This Georgia law that now prevents many asbestos victims from suing corporations matches the ALEC bill clause after clause, often word for word. The final vote was taken here at the Georgia Capitol, but the bill was first approved here, inside a Las Vegas casino at a closed-door ALEC meeting. Records show the 3 Georgia senators who sponsored the bill received more than $22,000 in ALEC scholarships to attend resort meetings the year before, during, and after the asbestos law was passed. This is money from corporations to legislators, but it's being filtered through ALEC, and they get a tax write-off?
Well, ALEC is a 501c3 organization, charitable educational purposes.
That's right. ALEC is an educational charity. The signature of Georgia's Speaker of the House, David Ralston, appears on this 2013 ALEC fundraising letter. He writes, "Your support of the scholarship fund is critical, enabling Georgia legislators to attend the annual meetings. Donations are 100% tax deductible and fund education efforts for legislators." Who's doing the educating? Inside that closed-door committee room in Savannah we couldn't show you, we saw the lobbyist for the cell phone industry seated across from Georgia State Rep Ben Harbin right before we were pulled out. Here we're credentialed to observe legislators here in Georgia wherever they meet to discuss laws. He's calling for backup. ALEC staffers had 4 off-duty sheriff's deputies standing by while we talked with the group's director of communications. Can we do an interview with you?
Actually, no.
Why not?
If you'd please turn the camera on.
No, we can't turn the camera off. That's one thing we don't do.
Okay, well then I'd like to have you escorted out of the building, please.
Okay, I'm a guest of this hotel. I'm actually staying here at this hotel.
You are staying at this hotel.
So here's the question is, if Georgia legislators are meeting here, we're credentialed right here to see Georgia legislators making laws. Are they discussing things that could become law here?
Georgia legislators are here participating in discussions where they're learning from legislators from others.
So why can't the people who elected them see the process?
This is a private meeting.
A private meeting paid for by whom?
By our members and donors.
Our lobbyists, correct?
No.
Are you here for this conference too? Are you really? We met 2 lobbyists and a state representative from New England in the hotel bar the night before and recorded our conversation.
You have to pay your own way?
Well, on a trip like this, that's where you would come in, man. On a trip like this, I'm the state chair of ALEC.
Yeah.
And I look for financial support.
Right.
Lobbyists, the like. To send us like a couple $1,000 every so often. That gives me money to help those folks with. Now, on the other hand,
we pay more to be here, so it helps support them.
And you do.
I see. So the lobbyist fees to come to the event actually help subsidize the legislator coming here.
Our lobbyists, correct?
No.
They're not lobbyists? The ones that we recorded in the bar last night aren't lobbyists who are here members? He signals to the sheriff's deputies.
All
right, I'm a guest of the hotel, sir?
Not for long.
I'm here, but paying guest of this hotel, sir.
We'll take care of that. Okay. Escort you up to your room and get your things.
Did we violate some law or something? I mean, are we violating a law here?
Don't say no.
Don't say nothing. One of the Georgia senators who sponsored that asbestos bill, Renee Unterman, told the 11 Alive investigators she later dropped out of ALEC, calling it a group of angry white men controlled by industry, not legislators. Major corporations like Atlanta-based Coca-Cola have also dropped out of ALEC.
Wow, eye-opening to say the least. Do lawmakers have to report payments for travel to these kinds of resort meetings?
You would think, Brenda, but in Georgia, the answer is no. We filed 6 open records requests with Georgia legislators, including the Speaker of the House asking for receipts and reimbursements to ALEC events. Well, today we received this letter from their lawyer. Your request is denied. Quote, the General Assembly is not subject to the Georgia Open Records Law. In other words, lawmakers specifically exempted themselves
from a law they passed to make Georgia government more transparent.
It's a good thing you made it out there. Those armed guards were standing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just baffling.
We'll stay on it.
And we wouldn't know it had it not been for this report.
Yeah.
All right, Brendan,
Thanks.
thank you.
Mind-blowing. Thank you.
These guys have no shame, right? I mean, a bunch of angry white men controlled by corporations. I mean, what's going on here? And they got him. They got him dead to rights. And I love it. And the next we're going to do is still now number 19. And guys, we want to show you that there's a group, you know, about Alex. So Judy, can we have number 19? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So guys, so far, 104 corporations have left Alec. And, if you can actually go on this website and who is, it tells you who's behind Alec. And of course, Judy, if we go to the next still, which would be number 2. Yeah, I mean, and you could see, what is Alec? Who funds Alec? Are the Koch brothers, Alec and the Koch connection? And guys, they're trying to buy the country. And this is how they do it. And they do it with Alec. And if my memory serves me correctly, when Marty had on one of his guests, and she was a representative with Alec, and she tried to get the deception right by us. But guys, now we know what to look for. I mean, because these guys are underhanded, they're shifty, behind closed doors. Did you see the way the cops were? No, you're leaving now because, hey, get the hell out of here. I'm a paying guest. Don't tell me to get out. You guys are hired hitmen, and we got to listen to you? Hey, believe me. Now you see why I get worked up, and I'm not supposed to, but it's very simple. All right, now the next clip is about paying taxes. And let's see how the rich people get out of that. So, Judy, hit it.
How to avoid paying your taxes with me, Astoria Davenport. Let's face it, taxes are boring. They pay for government services like the military, disaster relief, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, roads, bridges, transportation, and other tedious stuff you'd rather have an app for. But like death, you can't avoid them. Unless, of course, you're rich enough. Like me. Corporations and individuals are suspected of hiding up to $21 trillion in taxable income. I know what you're thinking. How can I get in on the action? Let me tell you. Step 1. Set up a large corporation with millions, if not billions in revenue, preferably in tech, energy, or pharmaceuticals. Step 2. Stash your cash money far, far away from home, maybe on a tax-free island. The Cayman Islands is a favorite. But there's also Luxembourg, that tiny EU country that you always forget about, which happens to be Walmart's favorite place to bury treasure. And thanks to a 1986 bill that lets you put off paying taxes on profits stashed abroad, you can keep more of that money you made others work for. And you can join the ranks of dedicated offshore tax haven users who let the rest of the US pay the $70 billion or so that they're avoiding. Other best places to store your loot? Switzerland, London, Ireland, Bermuda, Singapore, Belgium, Hong Kong, and Delaware. Hi, I'm your money in Delaware? Step 3. Offset your guilt for avoiding all these taxes by donating to charity. Not only can you pat yourself on the back, but all the money you donate can be written off, saving you even more money. You're such a benevolent billionaire. Step 4. Avoid paying a ton of taxes on your salary by paying yourself a smaller salary and taking the rest of your income as dividends. Dividend income is taxed at a much lower rate than salary income, so you get to keep that whole enchilada, which I never eat. Step 5. Keep avoiding taxes from beyond the grave. If you hire the right tax nerd to get your money to your heirs using tailored trusts, you can prevent paying those pesky estate taxes. And inherited money is entirely exempt from income taxes, so you can pass both your dough and your tax evasion habits on to Junior. Step 6. If all else fails, why not set up a church? In the eyes of the IRS, even the first church of cannabis and its lone sacrament, marijuana, is tax exempt. Yes, you heard me. Tax-free weed. Or you could create a sports league or some other non-profit, all of which are tax exempt. And remember, Stewart, Capone, Wesley Snipes, find a good accountant or you'll be in prison stripes.
We're young, hip, and innovative, but financially, our generation is pretty screwed. We came of age in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, and you better
End of the show, and we're going to have a little bit more fun with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher is going to talk about stem cells, but that's going to lead up to Megyn Kelly, because they did a thing, I don't know if you saw, they did another expose on, like James O'Keefe, where they go in there and they question the people at Planned Parenthood, and they try to, they edit the tape so that they can get the hate and the fear going. But first we're gonna do a little laughing with Bill Maher. So Judy, let's have number 24.
Here's another example. Very practical, closer to home. Stem cell research. Now, as you know, for the last 8 years, we couldn't have stem cell research because President Larry the Cable Guy not funny, I know. Cock-blocked stem cell research because, when he got into office, he asked a very important question. He said, "What is stem cell research?" And they sat him down and they explained, when a daddy loves a mommy very much. But what is a stem cell? It's a microscopic specklet of goo in a petri dish, or as the conservatives call it, a baby. Except it's not a baby. You know how I know this? Because you know what they do with it? They freeze it. They put it in the freezer. You can't do that with a baby, okay? I don't know a lot about babies. I've never even touched a baby, but I know you can't put one in the freezer. You know how I know this? Because if Americans could do that, they would. Oh, absolutely. There are yuppie couples who'd be like, geez, we're so busy this month. Fuck, and we've always wanted to see Italy, Just put the baby in the freezer. When we get back from the trip, we'll thaw it out,
So guys, you can't freeze your babies, I guess, huh? Judy, I think we should still have like 3 minutes left, am I right? So anyway, we're gonna play this last clip now with Megyn Kelly, and this is with Planned Parenthood. And guys, once again, here we go with the Republican Party, with the conservative agenda. All they want to do is create the hate. And listen, Megyn Kelly, she's supposed to be fair and balanced. She's supposed to be like the referee, the moderator. What does she do? She takes one side. What kind of a news reporter takes a side? You don't. You're supposed to play fair. You're supposed to keep the table level. You're supposed to make sure the deck isn't stacked, but not with Fox News. Fox News goes out of their way to present one point of view and one point of view only. The one for the simple folk. So Judy, hit the last one.
Them. God help us.
Joining me now, Dana Lash, author of Hands Off My Gun and the host of Dana on the Blaze TV, and Robert Zimmerman, a Democratic strategist and DNC committee member from New York. Let's talk about the barbarism of it. The legality is up for debate. I realize that. I have my own opinions as a lawyer. But the barbarism of her callous tone, Dana, as she discusses the crushing of fetus organs.
Yeah. And Megan, thanks for having me on this issue too. Dr. Nucatola there, I just, the casual way that she spoke about this, she's having a glass of red wine, she's eating a salad, and she's talking about lungs and hearts and livers and appendages, arms and legs, just, like it's just a regular day and they're talking about parts for a car. This is how far we have sunk. Where is the humanity in this? And where's the consistency in this as well? There's all of this outrage from Planned Parenthood, but why would there be outrage? Why are they trying to spin it? If a life is a life, then they have something to hide. But I don't know, it infuriates me to the point where it makes me nauseous, Megan. I was nauseous watching this video.
What infuriates me, Megan, is the fraud behind this video. Let's call it what it is. This is right-wing pornography. The same individuals who produced this video have been called out by the press repeatedly, mainstream and even conservative press. For the same individuals producing this film that you featured tonight have been nailed for producing films that have been misleading, have been editing.
Robert, they didn't make Dr. Nucatella talk about crushing fetal organs
the film
and trying to get a breech delivery so that she could preserve the head for someone to dissect.
But Megan, they edited the film to represent misleading and often false statements.
She's not even claiming that.
Okay, so guys, you see how they do it. And I mean, they go out of their way so that the people sitting home can watch Fox News and do nothing but get aggravated. They just want to sell the hate. They want to get the divisiveness. They want people to fight. And guys, I tell you what, this election's gonna be a revolution. Guys, we'll see you next week. Toodles.